Honesty. Just be honest with me and tell me the truth. My name is Tia Monet, and I'm doing this for Real Advantage Productions. I'm going to tell you 10 of my thoughts about telling the truth and keeping it real that mean the most to me. Number 1, the first thing about honesty that means so much, because it's make or break, is when you withhold the truth from someone you care about, when they most deserve it. Let's take an argument, for example. If I'm arguing with my boyfriend, and we know that there's something wrong, we're arguing about something really petty, and he won't tell me the real issue, but I know there's actually something wrong, don't you see how that could be even more toxic than helpful? Just tell me the truth. It might hurt, but it's always worth it. I hate when someone just won't tell me the truth, even in an argument. Just tell me what you think. Don't hold back, don't be petty. Number 2, because of a lack of honesty, I've been let down, especially by my friends and people who I consider to be closest to me. Don't have me walking around looking stupid just because you won't tell me the truth. Just tell me. Number 3, it's gonna get personal. On the topic of having me walking around looking stupid, to elaborate, one time, it was back in high school, but it still stung a lot. I didn't know that my boyfriend at the time was gay. Everybody else knew but me. I really just thought that he liked me so much that he just wanted to do everything I was doing. For example, I was captain of my dance team and he was dancing on the dance team with me. I was on the varsity gymnastics team and sure enough, he was on that gymnastics team. I had no idea that he was gay. Even my family knew, but nobody told me. So behind my back, everyone's laughing at me and I didn't know why until one day I saw everybody laughing at me and they actually told me and they showed me a horrible video of him doing something very inappropriate. But nonetheless, my friends knew this whole time and they didn't tell me. I had to find out for myself and it was really hurtful. Would I have believed them if they told me? Maybe, maybe not. But nonetheless, I think they still should have. 4, honesty that breaks relationships and friendships is when you're not being honest with me and I know you're not being honest with me. To me, that's fake. And that's just something, like, it's 2020. Why are we still being fake, especially to our own friends? For example, if you're cool with someone that you know doesn't like me or that you've heard talk about me, that, first of all, that's already fake. You know, and integrity is how you defend your friends or don't defend your friends when they're not around. But nonetheless, if you're cool with them and you don't say anything when they're talking about me, and then I just happen to find out that you're cool with them and that they also, of course, talk bad about me, that's fake and that's just not being honest. Be honest with yourself first. Point number 5 is cheating. Now, this is probably a trigger for many people. Unfortunately, in America, it's this socially acceptable culture of cheating, especially for our male counterparts. That's just what it is. It's not okay. It ruins everything. And wow, okay, I'm trying to stay calm here, but it's just not okay. Like, if you don't want to be with somebody, why can't you just say that? Why can't you be honest? And like I said in point number 4, be honest with yourself enough to know that if this isn't something you want, then get out of it and go get what you want. We all deserve that. But what we don't deserve is for anyone to go behind our backs and to use somebody else emotionally or physically to fulfill a void in your own heart. I could go on about this. I really could. Whew, that just really gets me like so in my feelings because I still just don't understand. Like, if you don't want to be with somebody, just don't be with them. Don't lie to them. Don't string them along on any side. Like, that's literally what you're doing for your own selfish gain. That is messed up. Sorry. Okay, I need to take a second to get my composure because cheating is something that really hits home for a lot of people. And it's just something that fuels our broken society. Okay, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay. Because we can change that. It's never too late to turn it around. It's never too late to be real with yourself, to sit down with yourself, figure out what you want, and know that you don't have to use anybody else to get that. You can be real, and you can go find that yourself and not hurt anybody else. Did you know that? Point number 6. Honesty in a family can ruin it. And not only that, it can create generational curses without us even knowing it. For example, my cousin and I had a disagreement back in the day. It was months ago, to be honest. And I thought we had moved on and gotten over it. Turns out we hadn't. And instead of her being honest with me, for 7 months, she was fake. I would go over to her house, we would hang out, we would spend all this time together, talk, call each other, and everything. Meanwhile, she had a whole volcano bubbling up inside of her, waiting to erupt on me for something that she could have sat down with me and had a real talk about. Instead, our relationship was severed because she wasn't honest with me. And she waited, and one day she was mad at me for something petty, and everything came out in the most hurtful way imaginable. So instead of a 30-minute uncomfortable conversation that we could have had, it turned into months, maybe years, maybe even the rest of our lives of an uncertain relationship that will ever, we don't know if we'll ever speak again. So now, not only is it just affecting me and her, it's affecting the rest of our family too, because now they have to choose sides. We can't necessarily be in the same space together without it being tense and awkward, and we're family. Point number 7 has to do with the value that I place on honesty. Of course, I believe it's the best policy there is. I love that I compete in pageants and competitions, and I like that we can be real, we can be honest, and the judges can sense that honesty. They can sense when someone is just giving their answers to try and say what they think the judges want to hear. They like when someone says how they feel and might have a fact or two to actually back it up. Nobody can really argue with that. And I think that maybe some of these Twitter wars and Twitter battles might be diminished if we are simply honest. We have a couple facts to back up our opinion, and then we're just open to hearing someone else's. But the fact of the matter is that when you have facts behind your honest opinion, people really can't cancel you or they can't diminish you. They can only listen and give their opinion. There's probably some right in both of them. On the topic of honesty, number 8, Nicki Minaj, my girl. I'm one of her day one fans. I'm one of her barbs, but she's one of the realest rappers that I know. She's never been afraid to speak her mind, and as you can see with 6ix9ine, she doesn't care, she still works with him, even though a lot of people think he's a snitch, a rat. And they even came on an Instagram live together, addressing those rumors, addressing that gossip, and saying her real opinion about it. She wasn't fake or phony because she worked with him. She said, yeah, he did snitch, but some people are in the streets and some aren't. I really don't know much about that gangster stuff, but I just really appreciated the fact that she came out and honestly said how she felt about it and wasn't scared of her truth. I like Remy Ma as well. I believe that even though Remy and Nicki did have a battle at one point, I like them both. I think that they're both real women and they live unapologetically. I think that unapologetic and honest are almost synonymous nowadays, and I think that those are both 2 traits that we need more of in 2020. Number 9, on to some positivity. In this fake world that we live in, it's good that we have some honest people in our lives. And what's great is that we can subconsciously help other people be real with us ourselves. Like for example, my mom and I come from 2 completely different generations, and I am helping her now break some of the generational defense mechanisms that she's had during arguments. We sit down and have honest conversations. We don't have to have petty back and forth. We don't have to attack each other, to simply get to the root of the problem and be honest about what's bothering us. And we realize that we can actually have productive arguments, come to a conclusion, a resolution, and go forth and prosper, because we have to realize that the people who are close to you, we're a team. We're in this together. We can't fight against each other. It's supposed to be us against the world. And that is something important that I took with me. And that was why, back to the one point I made about me and my cousin, even though she hurt me, I realized that I still love her enough through that hurt that I'm just, we're not talking now, but I just knew that I love her way more than any argument. And I hope that she can come to the same conclusion one day. Again, we got to be honest with ourselves first, though. And number 10, a quote from my favorite book. It's called I Ain't Much Baby, But I'm All I've Got by Dr. Jess Lair. He says that real equals love. And what that means is that it's self-acceptance. When you accept yourself as you are, and it takes some honesty. It does. You have to be honest with yourself and know where you might fall short and know how amazing you are as well. When you realize that about yourself and you're real with yourself, and then you go out and be real with others, subconsciously, people will be real with you. And that is an act of love. So real equals love. And I believe that I am real, so therefore I am love. And if you're honest with yourself and you're real, that means that you're love as well. So those were my top 10 thoughts on honesty. Of course, there's so much more, but if you can relate to even just one of those, let us know down below. We would love to hear from you. And that's it. This is Tia Monet, and I'm out. Bye.